Hey guys, welcome to another top 10 list. This week's top 10 list is the top 10 notes I own that are not legal tender. Here's what you see when you bring up the website asking if your note is legal. It is the U.S. government policy that all designs of U.S. currency remain legal tender or legally valid for payments regardless of when they were issued. That's their statement. Yet, I have a bunch of notes that are not spendable. Let's take a quick peek. So let's get started with this top 10 list. Top 10 notes that are not spendable. They don't have any value regardless of what the federal government says. And, well, you'll see the proof to that. All right, number 10 on the list. This is a $100 national currency. You would think that this national note would most certainly be valid today. The thing is it's not. Why? Because even though it was federally issued, it's a national currency. You can see here the treasurer and, here's the treasurer and the register of the treasury that signed it. This note was backed by the Merchants National Bank of Aurora, Illinois. Is the Merchants National Bank of Aurora, Illinois still in business? I have no idea. But they were the ones that put money on deposit to have this note printed. And, well, when the national currency and national charters and national banknotes became obsolete, there is now nothing backing this particular note. Now, I am aware that Federal Reserve notes have nothing backing them, but this had something backing it, and now no longer is in effect. Once again, the agency that is guaranteeing the value of this is the Merchants National Bank of Aurora. If that bank doesn't exist, that means there's nobody to actually cash out this note. Therefore, it's obsolete. And if you double check in the price guides, it says national currencies are all obsolete. So that is number 10 on my list. Before I get to number 9, we'll just clarify that for you. This is the Blue Book. You guys know the Blue Book, paper money of the United States, and my tripod's in a funky position, but we're going to get it here. See where my thumb is? Only 5, 10, 20, 50, and $100 notes were issued and are now all obsolete. So there it is in the book. Yeah, they're obsolete. No value. All right, that was number 10. Number 9. Number 9, this is another national currency note. This particular one from the Chase National Bank of the City of New York. This one is a Type 2. So compared to the first one, if you check out the serial number, here the serial number is centered. Here the serial number is off to one side, and it has the charter number printed here as well as here. So this has the charter number here for number 10, and the Type 2 has it here, and here. The back of the notes, of course, are the same as well. But once again, this specific note was backed by the Chase National Bank of the City of New York. And, well, yeah, if that bank doesn't exist, there is nobody to back this particular note. Therefore, it is obsolete. Obsolete money is not spendable money. So that is number 9 on the list. Number 8. Sticking to that trend, here is one that I can actually prove. This is a $5 First National Bank note. This one is from the First National Bank of Kenosha. I live in Kenosha. And the bank doesn't exist anymore. I know that for a fact. So there is no one to redeem this note. With no one to redeem the note is obsolete and has no additional cash value. Therefore, it is not spendable, not redeemable. It is obsolete currency, regardless of what the website says. Now, I'm sure someone would give me $5 for this note, since it's worth probably closer to $400. But that's not the case. It's worth $400 because it's collectible. It's not worth $5 because it's spendable. It's obsolete. So that one is number 8. Number 7. Here's a $20 brownback. This one is another national. Here's the brownback right there. Pretty cool looking brownback. Using the brown ink on there is it's really, really slick. You have the charter number on the back of the note. This one is from the second charter series, and you can see here it is the 1882 was the beginning of the second charter period. This one from the National Bank of Decatur. Once again, same problem here. Even though it's a different charter and different series, there is no more national banking system as far as these notes go. There is no one backing this note, and because of that, it has no monetary value. It's got collector's value, but no monetary value. So that one is number 7 on the list. Number 6, well, let's go with one more from the first charter period. This is my Lazy Deuce. And the Lazy Deuce, yes, even though it has, when you look real close, federal signatures on it, that means it's a federally issued note. It is a national currency issued by the American National Bank of Providence, Rhode Island, which may or may not exist, but because it's a national, it's obsolete. Not spendable. And yeah, I'm sure anybody would give me $2 for this in a heartbeat, because this particular one is worth 4 digits. So yeah. But as far as spendability, no, it is not legal tender anymore. It is obsolete. That is number 6 on the list. Number 5, well, those were all nationals. What else do I have here? Number 4, I have a $10 gold certificate. $10 gold certificate. This is number 5, I should say. Number 5, $10 gold certificate. Very cool note. Looks just like a regular note, except for that little gold seal there. So you could easily mistake this for any other small head, especially if you're just looking at the back of the note. $10 gold certificate. This is, well, for the longest time, it was illegal to own. In 1933, they passed a law stating that people could not own gold and must redeem all gold certificates. And it wasn't until 1964 that it was even legal to have these notes. You were allowed to have these notes as collector's issues, not as money. So no, these are most certainly not spendable. So that's number 5. Number 4. Might as well step it up a notch. Here's the $20 bill from the same series. This one, series, of course, is 1928. The 1928 set, this is the $20 note. Really cool gold seal on here. Really cool numbers. And this, well, you're going to see this image a little later on as well. Checking out the back, the very familiar look to this particular note. But once again, it's a gold certificate, which means it was illegal to own for a big part of the 20th century. And once it became legal to own, it was only for collecting. It was not for monetary value. Therefore, it has no monetary value. You cannot spend it. Once again, someone would gladly give you $20 for this note because it's worth a lot more than that. But that's not the point. The point is it's not legal tender, even though the website says it is. That one is number 4. Number 3. Let's get a little bigger. Here we go. This is from 1922. This is a large size $10 gold certificate from 1922. This one here came out as a 20 when it got graded. Take a look at the back. You have that bright orange. I wish they would have done the bright orange on these, but they didn't. The bright orange on the large size is very eye-catching. The $10 note, I always call this my Charlie Brown note, somewhere between the big forehead and the black and gold, like Charlie Brown's shirt. That's what I always see. That's why I call it that. I know I'm the only person on the planet that does. But that still doesn't change the fact that this is not legal. You can't spend it. It's not worth anything. It's worth something to collectors, but not to a bank. You cannot turn this in. It was illegal to own, and like I said, until 1964, and even then it was only legal for collectors, not legal currency, not legal tender, not legal to spend. That is number 3. Number 2, my favorite note, 1922 $20 gold certificate. This was the first note that I ever bought, and obviously, since it's the 1922 series, it is the same deal as before, not legal to spend. Now, it's just cool to see this note with this one here, because you can see exactly where that banner came from. It started with this, then they implemented it on the small size 20, and then after they got rid of gold certificates, the regular Federal Reserve 20 kept that banner because it was just such a really cool look to it. Same with the swirls on the side. They did the same thing on these here. Yeah, you can see those here. Here it says gold, but on the other ones, the Federal Reserve notes, it doesn't say gold. It's just plain, kind of like these are here. The 1922 large size $20 gold certificate, once again, not spendable, no value other than to collectors. So, yeah, you could easily have someone give you $20 for this, but it's not a $20 bill that can be spent. Um, Once again, this is worth a lot more than $20. And the final note that I have is going to put all this in perspective. Okay, I know you guys are saying you'd give me $20 for this, and I think the better way to do it is if you want to give me face value for all of these notes, I will then sell it to you for face value. All 10, but you have to buy all 10, okay? Because here is my 1900 $10,000 bill. This has been the note that I have held this argument for the longest time. The $10,000 note, this one was from 1900. If we look here, you can see act of March, 11th, 1900. This particular one was issued November 22nd, 1916. And once again, they all had to be redeemed in 1933. This particular note managed to survive a fire in Washington, D.C. and was thrown out a window. And when everybody ran around trying to find these notes, they picked them up and tried to cash them in, and they were told that they could not, because it is not legal to cash in gold certificates. So, even though they were holding a $10,000 bill, they couldn't cash it in. Once again, this fell under the act in 1964 that allowed collectors to have these notes and for them not to be considered illegal to own, but it is not legal currency, just like all these other gold certificates are not legal currency. And yeah, I picked up this one for about $1,000. So if you want to give me 10,000, 10,100, 10 was about almost $11,000. Yeah, $11,000. You can have all of these notes, but of course you wouldn't do that because they aren't worth that much, unless you're just looking at face value. But they're not worth face value. They are not. I don't care what the website says. You're not gonna turn this in for face value. Anyway, that's my list this week of notes that, even though the federal government says is worth whatever they're printed, they are not. And that just kind of bugs me. It would be very easy for them to put a little asterisk there and say, no, this isn't the case. But it just looks so much better on the website to say that every federal issued note is still valid. There's 10 that are not. All right, guys, if you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Love reading all your comments. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next week.